Hey, I want to give a thanks to Carl Keeling 26 for sharing this video. All the so-called Republicans think that Trump is for the Second Amendment and that it's always the Democrats that want to take the guns. But Trump's new AG, this was after the Parkland, is this Pam Bondi chick. Listen to this. This is what the gun lovers or Second Amendment community has to look forward to.
Pam Bondi, Attorney General of Florida, and Mayor, thank you. I know you're going through a lot now. President, she was there that night with me. I think that you were there with me until 3:30 in the morning when all these families were being notified.
Trump's so-called dream team he's putting together.
It was horrific. So I know you've been through a lot, so thank you so much.
Sure, great job.
I have a couple issues that I'll wait. And do you want to talk about them now?
Talk
or
about them.
later?
Yeah, you can talk.
Well, one, it addresses some of the things you said. In Florida, it's called the Baker Act, but it's our Civil Commitment Act, and it's weak. And it's about 1,000 pages long, and I've had my Solicitor General on it for 3 days now, working on it. We're rewriting it along with Governor Scott, who's
Good.
you're going to meet with him. He's going to
Good.
give you a ton of good information. We've been rewriting it, and we are going to bring in something called the Gun Violence Restraining Order. So if someone is civilly committed, typically you can hold them for up to 72 hours, but people are getting out within 24 hours, the majority of them. So what we want to do is let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
Good.
They're a danger to themselves
Which you can't
or
do right
others.
now.
Well, what we want to do is let law enforcement come in and take the guns.
Good.
This is first, before any due process or anything.
Danger to themselves
Which you can't
or
do right
others.
now.
Well, because without being adjudicated. So because they're a danger to themselves.
You want them to take the guns and
When they are
not go
committed.
through 6 months of legal trials and everything else,
Exactly.
which is-
But we
okay.
also have to give the
Good.
mentally ill the due process in which they deserve, President. So what we're doing is they're going to be able to take the guns when they're taken into custody or into the hospital, and then when they're released within 24 hours or 72 hours later, typically it's 24 hours, but law enforcement will have 72 hours to determine whether they should give those guns back, or they can go to a judge and say, Your Honor, please keep these guns. We feel this person is still a danger to himself or others.
These people have no rights to take your guns and give them to some judge, and they are the ones that decide that if you're not dangerous to yourself. It's always to protect us against our own selves. And the reason why these red flag gun laws are so dangerous is because the language is really vague. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's say someone takes a Xanax to help them sleep, or they have a little bit of anxiety, then all it takes is an ex-girlfriend or a family member or an anonymous caller saying that this person's on a drug where they're a danger to themselves. And then with this law that that this lady's talking about, they're able to seize the guns first. They've never been able to do this before, but that's what Trump's talking about. Just keep listening.
Whether
So
they're
this
in or
would
out
not
of
have worked
custody.
the way it's currently constituted. This would not have worked with Cruz as it's currently constituted.
Or others. Whether
So
they're
this
in or
would
out
not
of
have worked
custody.
the way it's currently constituted. This would not have worked with Cruz as it's currently constituted.
As it's currently written.
So you're going to make changes?
We're going to make changes. And one other thing we're doing about the reporting, President, which is huge, this is a big issue. We need a clearinghouse, and that's what we've all been discussing. And we have created, and several of my counterparts have done it around the country, but we're the biggest state doing it. It's an app, because kids now are on social media. And there were so many warning signs on Snapchat, on Twitter, on Instagram, and they were posting them, they were sending them, but to all different sources.
You better be careful what you put in the comment section. All of us that have been getting our comments removed for hate speech, that could also be considered violence. Or There's just so many ways they can take this.
We're going to have, and we just got it written in our House and Senate budget, it'll cost at least $500,000 a year to fund this. But what it does, kids, and so I met with 10 students, and they loved it. And they said, I'm empowering them. 3 of them are my graphic designers. They're going to design the icons. Some are going to name it. They're helping us with it. But it'll cost probably about $100,000 maximum to develop. That's all in our budget. So what kids can do now, they can automatically send something that says, I'm going to buy a gun, just like Cruz was doing. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And one of the girls who I met with, one of the students, told me he had been doing this since middle school. He had bullied her, and she reported it. So it will all, they can instantly, and they can do it with anonymity. Put it in this app.
Good.
It'll go in the app, and it'll go to one clearinghouse with state law enforcement in.
Remember when Janet Napolitano was saying that if you see something, say something. That's what this is, repackaged.
Florida.
Well, you mentioned the internet. We have to look at the internet because a lot of bad things are happening
Here it comes, the internet.
to young kids.
And it'll go to one clearinghouse with state law enforcement in Florida.
Well, you mentioned the internet. We have to look at the internet because a lot of bad things are happening to young kids and young minds, and their minds are being formed. And we have to do something about maybe what they're seeing and how they're seeing it, and also video games. I'm hearing more and more people say the level of violence on video games is really shaping young people's thoughts. And
It's all to protect the children. Think about what Trump's speech was about: anti-Semitism, hate speech. You know, it's not the kids they're trying to protect. It's people like us that are out here speaking the truth that they're going to come after.
then you go the further step, and that's the movies. You see these movies, they're so violent, and yet a kid is able to see the movie if sex isn't involved, but killing is involved, and maybe they have to put a rating system for that. And you know, you get into a whole very complicated, very big deal. But the fact is that you are having movies come out that are so violent with the killing and everything else that maybe that's another thing we're going to have to discuss. And a lot of people are saying it. You have these movies today where you can go and have a child see the movie, and yet it's so violent and so disgusting.
Yeah, little Johnny saw a violent movie. You need to go get his gun too. But unbelievable. But I appreciate it, Carl, for sharing this. I'll leave your link in the description. But another one of Trump's dream team exposed right here. You guys have a good day later on.